So for smaller businesses or people doing this kind of CRO work on their own, what are some methods of like tracking results, systems you might use to like organize all of these findings? That way you can then look back and say like, oh, that's what worked. Like, let's try implementing that again.
That's really important, keeping track of the results, because if you don't have that, what's the point of even doing it? Like, I really like to take a scientific approach with it. So we've built out a list where we're tracking the page, the version, the page type. So whether it's like a contact page or product detail page, and maybe you're only doing it on a specific product, keeping track of the variables. So make sure you have all your variables, you have your control defined, you have your test variables defined, your hypothesis of what you think will or won't happen. You can run the test, put how long you ran it for, and then get the actual results. Like, document all of the results, document the purpose, why you're running the test. That's a big one too. Use a program that will keep track of this information for you, will do the math for you, will do the statistical analysis for you, and then document it all somewhere else, just in case.
I love what you're saying about purpose too, because I think a lot of times, especially in big organizations, a lot of people have ideas and thoughts about what works, and that's not always necessarily true, right? So we always want to go back to data to validate or disprove those things, but then starting off with like, what is the purpose, so that you have that context when you're, looking at the results, I think is so important, and something you can so easily overlook when you're just trying to like get something done.
People don't have that purpose.
Yeah.
Like, they think they need to do this, this, and this to grow their business, but there's no actual business goals of increased revenue, and maybe they even have dollar amounts. Like, that purpose is critical to the entire project. So that's usually what we start out with is get those high level goals, which might be like extremely high level. Like, we want to grow the business, we want to open a new office. And then we take those and dig in deeper and say, okay, how can we translate these high level goals into KPIs that are relevant? It's not just, oh, we think that you should do this, this, and this. It's like, no, like, we saw in the data that this is happening. This is what you want to be happening. These are the things we're going to keep looking at to make sure it's happening, and this is how we're going to do it.
Obviously, you're working with clients on this, and everybody has their own thoughts, opinions on what's going to work, but the point of testing is to learn. And if you learn that things are working, that's great. But what about failure?
If you run a test and it fails, that's a good thing, because that means that you now know what doesn't work, and you can move on to something else. And I think people are really afraid of failure, and that is something that you just have to learn to be comfortable with, and you have to explain and set that expectation with clients that this isn't guaranteed to work, but we're doing it to find out if it will.